Welcome to the Fat Cats Rugby podcast, bringing you candid rugby conversations, great interviews and insights into Ugandan rugby, and a touch of rugby in Africa and the world over. Fat Cats Rugby podcast is a product of Fat Cats Media brand for all your audio-visual content needs and equipment hire. Hope you enjoy this episode.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of the Fat Cats podcast. This one is quite special. I'm back. Aren't you guys happy? Anyway, my name is Joseph Dungu and I'm happy to be here. We're joined by two special guests. I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves, starting with a lady.
Hi everyone, Lucille Suubi is my name. Yeah,
Lucy, just to get to maybe find out more about Lucille. People keep seeing you around. People see you maybe like staunchly supporting heathens. People, and I've just recently gotten to find out that you were doing commentary for the women's games. Just tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the depth of what we want to talk about.
Oh well, I do come for Chadunda Rugby Club, and I'm of course an ardent fan of heathens. Okay. And recently, just the concluded Rugby Africa Women's Cup, I was doing side commentary with Kawawa Sports.
Okay, that's great.
All right. I think that's a role reversal, switching roles. She's doing good. Let's move on to the gentleman.
Thank you so much. Coach Leo here, head coach Lady Cranes, 15s. Pleasure to be here.
Well, he's a man of a jack of many trades and a master of most. Of all, he is a teacher by profession and a sports scientist by academic qualification. And I'm joined by the fattest cat, Ruben.
I'm not the fattest cat.
Who is the fattest cat?
Edwin, obviously. No one beats Edwin.
We are missing Edwin today, but yeah. Guys, it's a pleasure to have you here. I don't know how you feel. Is it your first time here, Coach?
Yeah, this is my first time here, and like I said earlier, pleasure to be here. I've seen you guys a couple of podcasts that I follow and get the insights of what is happening around rugby. There are certain things that even me that I'm involved that I don't get to understand, and yeah, I go ahead and tune in and listen to what people are saying, pick people's minds. Yeah,
sure. That's awesome stuff.
Joseph, I think before we even get deep into our conversation, we need to just let the people know where we are, the Fred and Winnie B&B, which is located in Kisasi, and it's a homestay featuring 10 self-contained private bedrooms, consisting of 2 deluxe doubles, 3 standard doubles, 1 deluxe twin, and 2 standard twin bedrooms. The units come with a fully equipped kitchen, power backup system, Wi-Fi, laundry services, and a chef to cater to you every meal. Guests at Fred and Winnie B&B enjoy a sumptuous buffet, breakfast with a choice of selected tropical fruits and juice. Pick up and drop off to and from Entebbe International Airport, as well as local transportation for getting around all 4 up-country trips can be arranged if booked in advance. For bookings, you call the number 0752 693369. You let them know that a Fat Cat sent you for amazing offers. So I think we can continue into
awesome stuff. Awesome, Ruben. Yeah. Nice. So, Coach Leo, how is it coaching the ladies? I'm going right into the deep end of things. How is it coaching the ladies? What's the best approach? How is the environment of the whole ladies national team?
Well, I think coaching the women is something a little bit complex compared to the men. Although I think all of you here know that I also coach the men. That is at club level. And I've also coached the men at high school, university. It's totally a different approach. With the women, you have to be a little bit patient with them. They're a very special gender that needs careful attention.
Sure.
Rather than the men. For example, I can give you just a quick example that with the men, it's very easy to get quick results, but then for the women, you have to be a little bit patient with them.
But Leo, I mean, you're getting the results with the women, so that speaks to how special you are and how good you are as a coach. Take us through your journey of coaching. What have you achieved? Where have you been? And the various places you've coached at and the various training programs you've
Well, 2022 I think is my 12th year of coaching competitively. I started off with coaching high schools. I also coached in Rwanda for 1.5 years
That's
with the under
interesting.
19s, and then also when I got back, I was with UCU as a sports administrator. Coached the UCU teams, and then also I did some coaching consultants with Butiki, that is a high school, and then also Ndeje University. I think I was part of the mastermind of the first rugby team they had, and then also like I said earlier, UCU, and then also I coached the Walukwa Barbarians, the team we started 10 years ago. I've been with them for 10 years. I'm a part of the founding members with a few other colleagues of mine. And then I also, when I played for Nile Rugby Club, I think it was my last club that I played for. I had too much on my desk. So
which position were you playing?
as a flanker,
Wow.
as a
Actually, one of
flanker.
these last games, I remember I was still slightly a rookie at the time. That is the time when summer camp at the time was playing its playoff to come into the Super 8.
Actually, that year I wasn't in Uganda, but I just came to play those games. I was really unfit, lost some weight. Love for the game.
But the team you guys brought for that second leg of the playoffs.
Yeah, we brought in a few colleagues of ours that were based in Kenya.
Yeah. Exactly.
But we never won the game. I think summer camp took it on, and they got promoted that year.
Yeah.
I'm still traumatized by those short balls that the Kenyan was running at me. But I'm alive. That's the most important thing.
Guys, we cannot skip talking about the recent Rugby Africa Women's Cup, where one of our guests, Lucy, was a commentator. I expected Lucy to be, that's my expectation.
What is your expectation?
My expectation was for Lucy to be part of the team management and kind of, probably serving in that capacity. Not top team manager, but serving within. But here we have Lucy commentating rugby. Lucy, how was that? Just take us through. How did you see the game from your perspective? And
at first it was intense because it was my first time doing it. About the games, our first game against Zambia was good. Okay, I would credit Charlotte Mudola because we got most of our points off her boat. Her boat was on 100%. I think that day she collected over like 16 points. Because if you're to look at Zambia had 3 tries, also had 3 tries. So imagine if her boat wasn't good. Yeah.
she was the difference.
Exactly. Yeah. She added a lot to our scores.
Yes.
And when you look at the other games we had, the other game we had with Kenya.
Where do you think we went wrong, Lucy? Where do you think the game was lost?
Joseph, I think even before we get into the nitty-gritties of trying to dissect that, let's just get to know her a little bit. Lucy, people see you on social media, like I was saying earlier. How did you fall in love with rugby? Because in my opinion, there was no Lucy. At some point, all of a sudden, someone called Lucy has sprung up into the game. She's now with
vibrant
Chadolo, and she's very outspoken. Then you have also seen on Twitter, you're always trying to go against the Pirates.
Things are happening so fast.
There is that banter which sometimes goes the wrong way.
Wakabi.
So and there's that moniker Wakabi, and the hashtags, the very many hashtags. So maybe you can just give us a little bit about your journey of how you really came into rugby.
I started liking rugby way back in high school. Actually, I think I watched my first rugby game at Legends, and those were the high school. I had friends from SMAC, so yeah, they used to invite me to watch their games.
Super Fours.
So I was just coming to watch just for fun, and until about 2016, that's when I started to understand the game. Yeah, I was low-key, like within the rugby circles, but my friends actually knew me like for the love of rugby. So we'd always come to Chadondo, and that's how now I get into Heathens. Yeah.
Lucy, I have a question.
Let's bring
Before
it on.
you go ahead, I have a question.
Please do.
Imagine I have two questions, but one will come later. One, if it weren't Heathens, which club would you be supporting? It's a question.
Thunderbirds.
Coach Leo is cheating. He's cheating.
That's one thing that has never crossed my mind. Like, it's just Heathens.
So you wake up Heathens, breathe, eat, sleep, thinking, dreaming Heathens.
Good or bad, Heathens.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting. My question will come later. Now it will be more fine-tuned. So you start watching rugby, so you get involved with Heathens in which year?
I started like working with them or what?
Get
or
it.
supporting them.
Supporting them, then later serving with them.
Oh, cool. So I got involved in about 2016.
Yeah.
And then 2017-18, there was a call for volunteering. That was Rugby Africa Cup. Victoria Cup? No. One of the two.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I applied and I got on board as a steward.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started working with a Chadondo. It was Chadondo, not actually Heathens. And it's from Chadondo that I was initiated into Heathens work.
Okay.
Yeah, so I took over. Math actually Nakali recommended me, like, Lucy does amazing work.
Give her a shout out. Give her say like, Martha, you're my hero.
Yeah,
Martha, you're a hero.
I usually say that to a lot of people, like, she's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got me into actually Heathens. When she was leaving, when they asked her who can come on board, she was like, Lucy,
Yeah,
this
sure.
is the best replacement for
And
me.
I think you did awesome work. So you got in steward, what came next? What work are you doing after being a steward?
I'm doing media.
Media.
Yeah, media and comms for...
Oh, and guys, she is a lawyer from UCU. So with her legal background, with her legal lingo, is that the right word?
You've
With
been
her
practicing.
vocabulary.
Well done.
Yeah, sure. So Lucy is doing awesome work with Chadondo. I remember you guys hosted the Africa Cup, and Chadondo was heavily pushing on their socials and Heathens as well. So kudos to you, and yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you're still asking her about?
Well, I think we have gotten to know her a little bit. Now we can dive into everything. But even before we get into what happened on the pitch, the experience of the Women's Rugby Africa Cup, the fact that we are using a totally new ground, staunchly known for its football heritage, and the fact that Uganda's games were midweek. What were your thoughts going into that tournament? And then also, when it happened, what emotions did it evoke from you?
I actually thought people weren't going to turn up for the games. Like, I personally, I remember asking Regina, like, why of all places did we have to go to Wankulukuku?
Yeah.
And why on a weekday? Okay. So I was really biased. Personally, I was biased because, I don't know, why Wankulukuku? I was just worried about that turn-up because in me, I know like women's rugby is still developing, like we are still capturing fans, Not many people usually turn up for the games. So taking the games to Wankulukuku, then thinking, okay, the fans won't really come. And this is a big tournament. Having put it maybe at Chadondo or Legends would have attracted a lot of
more.
Exactly. And it would be a plus for the women's rugby in Uganda. But nonetheless, those who turned up really came through. And yeah.
Lucy, what do you think people did right? Because initially you say there was no hype, there was no publicity for the games. Do I quote you right?
No, I didn't say that.
Well, you said you thought people were not going to come, right? What do you think whoever was in charge of getting the funds and making the games known did right last minute? Was it done last minute?
No, actually from game one, Nile Special put a fund bus at Chadondo free of charge.
Okay, yeah, sure, they did.
Yeah, so actually they really did great. So more fans used that opportunity to come.
Yes.
Same thing happened for game 2 and game 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now special, you have your flowers from Lucy.
I think one
And
of
all
the
of us
things
are fat
that
cats.
me I've learned about this whole experience is one that one Wankuluku is not very far. we're all thinking that Wankuluku is so far.
Yeah.
But for this second game, I happened to take a border from town. It's actually 3-5 from using Safe Border. So it was not very far. I thought it was very far because the first time when I went for the first Uganda game, we were in a car. I think I was just on my phone the whole time, so I didn't pay attention to the journey. But it was actually near. But I do agree with her on the sentiment of the fact that I was also thinking that why would you put, we're trying to create awareness and popularity of the women's game.
Yeah.
Why would you put it at Wankuluku, a new ground that many people are not used to, many staunch rugby people and maybe new people that you'd want to attract? Why? Why would you?
Can I tell you
push it that
something,
time?
Ruben?
Yeah.
Before I involve Coach Leo, personally, I'd never been at Wankuluku, and my idea
also my
was
first time.
because it usually rains and floods, so that was my worry. But thanks to God, guys, God did. So man, it was a dry field. It looked green from the fans' view.
No,
It
it
looked
was a
green.
great
Coach Leo,
pitch, actually.
were you worried initially? What were your thoughts and what were your concerns as a coach for the games being hosted at Wankuluku?
Of course, the first worry, same as Lucy's, the turn up of the fan base, and then also looking at weekly, you have an evening game.
Yeah.
You know the traffic, how bad it is in Kampala.
Yes.
You have a game on a Tuesday, and then you have a game on a Wednesday. Of course, I was scared of the turn up of the fans, and like what happened, the experience we had last year. Last year against Zimbabwe, the 2 games, we never had fans. Everyone was virtually watching, sending in messages, and I think that gave me a motivator. Well, regardless if the fans are coming through or not, I'm very sure the links, the online streaming will probably give us more hype as a team. Of course, the fans did it great on socials, sending in supporting messages, and the girls were really grateful of that. With the playing surface, I think I visited, I was last at Wankuluku, I think 5 years ago. I hadn't been to it in about half a decade, so I had to jump onto a border and go check out the playing surface. It was amazing, and I wasn't scared of that. It's got a very good turf, and I think we didn't get any injuries as a team Uganda. We've seen our opponents got lots of injuries during the games, and I think kudos to my teammate, my colleagues. I think they did an amazing job, especially the S&C. We did not have any bad injury at the end of the tournament. I think that is a plus. When you look at being with the women since 2016, and every tournament you're playing, you're losing about 3 to 4 players to nasty injuries. And I think it's one of the things that have improved a lot into our setup of coaching. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the last podcast we had was with one of the players. We had Winnie Atiang, and we had Patricia and Nick. They were here. Very, very interesting conversation. For those that haven't watched it, they should go and watch or listen. But tell us about the experience of being in the camp with the women. Even just knowing that you guys were at Sky's Hotel the whole time. How was the whole experience?
How was it, man? Tell us about the food.
Everything.
Don't make it too serious. Leo, tell us, Sky's Hotel. I want a night sometime, man. How is the whole environment? Breakfast? Do the girls feed as heavily as the boys? Tell us the environment. Why you guys having movie nights?
Well, I have had lots of experiences with women teams. When I was still a sports administrator of UCU, you would be a team manager to the Lady Cannons, the basketball team. You have the Lady Cardinals, the football team, the female. You have the volleyballers, and I've been with these teams to different tournaments, international tournaments. Yeah. And it's a whole experience with working with women in sport. The first thing is women are excited with food. That is true.
Lucy,
it is their foodies.
Women and food. Like
their foodies. I remember in 2014, I think I took the Lady Cannons for Zone 5 club. It was an African championship.
Yeah.
And we had about 3 or 4 rookies on the team.
Yeah.
and they were very excited with the 5-star breakfast.
I would be guys. Sam, I would be.
So I think this time around with Skies is a very it's an awesome. They've got quality services. Well, I've never been with the team in a 5-star before, but I've been with the team in 4, 3, 2, and it's a whole different. The girls slept individually per room.
White sheets, what?
Exactly.
Man.
Every day sheets are changed and all that. But I think the most important thing was we stayed focused as a team. Regardless of all the services and the excitement, I think we knew what was in for the tournament.
Yeah.
And I think nothing really changed our mindset, whether the food, the spacious environment around Skies. Yeah, we never lost our focus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leo, to the serious stuff now. Have you looked at the world rankings for the women's?
Yes, it's the first thing. Last night after the Kenyan game, I think I was down, but again, I wasn't meant to show it to the players because some of them were crying, and I had to strengthen their mental, keep them their chin high, and but later in the night, as they were having a fun moment at the hotel, I went to my phone, and I had to check the world ranking, and I think it's been updated as of right now. Actually, by last night, 8 p.m., it was already updated because there were lots of games happening internationally, and every time, probably every evening, they're updating. Yeah, we've moved 2 steps now from 32nd to 30th.
Wow.
I think for me, regardless of us not completing our rugby cycle, 4-year cycle, I think the girls did a very good job. When you look at last year when we got into international games again, I think we're 38th. So in the span of 2 years, I think we've moved 8 positions from 38th to 30th. I think it's an amazing job by the ladies.
Yeah.
We're so proud of them, and I think let them keep doing great things. A few things that are, of course, the challenges we face, like with this team, is player retention. Of course, like I said earlier, women are a very special gender, so it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, yeah.
Now, looking at our opposition, Kenya, when the rankings change for us, I think they change for them as well. I was looking at the rankings today, and they are now up to 27th from 30th.
Yes.
So guys, I think we're making strides. I think Coach Leo deserves the flower. Together with that team, together with this team rather, he's been just mention for us your team and what each person has been doing the role. We saw Coach Emma Cantun too.
Yeah.
And
So previously, it's been a norm with Ugandan rugby. You only have 2 coaches on the team. You have an assistant coach. You have a head coach. And then, of course, normally with African nations, you normally see teams travel with only 1 coach, TM, and the physio. But I think this time round, the union, of course, said, why can't we broaden the human resource? Bring who you feel like and you can work with, or you make recommendations. And I think the team I'm working with is an amazing team. Everyone wants to grow, everyone wants to win, everyone wants success.
Yeah.
And for me, if you have positive-minded people and they're very open-minded, wanting to learn, sharing knowledge, I think it's so amazing. I'll start with, of course, the head of the team. That is a team manager. That is Eunice. Of course, we all know what team managers do: the welfare of the team, the operations, the daily operations of the team, connecting each of the members of the team, players to the management team still. And then we had Coach Ford, who is the forwards coach and also assistant coach. And then we had SNC, Chigongo Sebalamu. I've been with him. This is our 2nd year together. The rest of the other coaches, this is the first year we've worked with them. Emma Cantun, to head coach Impis, came on board as a skills coach. And then also Physio, we've been with Physio for all these years.
Yeah.
That is Nelson. from Monga's Rugby.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, in between we had a few other coaches coming in, one or two things, experienced players. The longest serving hooker, Alex Mobiru, came through. We also worked with Anthony Hu, who was with the men,
Yeah.
the South African, did an amazing job with us. We also had Brian Makalama come through, one or two sessions, 1-2 words to the girls. I think we also had Alan Otim, who is men's S&C.
Yeah.
Came in and did a little push with us for about 3 weeks. And then also we had James. James is a former sprinter. We realized that the girls need a little bit of mechanism with their sprints and all that. He also did an amazing job the few days we had with him. Yeah, that is the team we've been working with behind the scenes.
Yeah, and on a lighter note, did you guys see Coach Leo? He was not in the coach's dugout, yeah? He was in some secular. He was like the Razi Erasmus of Ugandan rugby.
That's how sports is supposed to be organized, and that's just great to see that happens. So that we can use whatever communication devices they have. But ideally, coaches are not supposed to sit on the bench.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Lucy, head coaches in particular.
Lucille, tell us, man, why do you think this game was lost on yesterday? Oh, guys, we are shooting on a Wednesday. Today is a Wednesday. Today is a Thursday. We are shooting on a Thursday. So the game happened on a Wednesday yesterday. Lucy, why do you think this game was lost? In which areas of the game, yeah?
We lost the game when Kenya dominated our 22. Well, actually, in the first half, yeah, we barely crossed Kenya's 50. So
Yeah.
they dominated our 22, and we lost a lot of lineups. Yeah, and then even the scrum.
Yeah.
So that costed us a lot. And we also been penalized, and Kenya was taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that really costed us a lot. And I just want to believe that the Kenyan team had reviewed our past game against Zambia.
Most definitely, yeah.
And they were able to observe our loopholes, and that's where they beat us tactically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lucy, imagine you are the coach. Yeah? You're the coach, or you could whisper a few words, like say at the water break interval. What do you think you'd have told these girls to do better? Because at a point, the game was 8-0, and we could catch up, yeah? Because the girls were fanning out the ball and stuff like that. What do you think you'd have whispered in, say, Charlotte Mudola's ear to tell, or the captain, yeah?
Wow.
Tell us, man.
Spot on.
It's, you see, it's women's rugby. Imagine you're running
drinks on
on
me afterwards.
Yeah?
I would have whispered drinks on me afterwards if it was me.
If it were you.
Drinks on me.
Anyway, coach, you see, you can only do so much because you do all the work during the week, and on game day, you step away, let the girls enjoy their game. Absolutely, I'm sure you're very proud of your girls.
Definitely.
But what are those few things you feel like they lacked, and where do you think Kenya won the game?
I think, like Lucy said, they had an amazing kicker. Grace is an amazing kicker on the Kenyan team, and she's very much exposed. She's been on the 7s team and the 15s team for quite a while now.
Okay.
She kept the ball in our 22, and definitely that is the red zone of any team that would want to panic and secure the ball. And I think we lost a lot of possession during our 22. Of course, any other team would want to apply the pressure, whether in attack or defense. And I think for me, the Kenyans really put a lot of pressure off the attack onto us. They kicked the ball, we received the ball. I think our back three had very good aerial
Skills.
skills. But again, they got lost. If I get the ball, what next? You realize the 15 that is Rita would get the ball and then pause for about 10 seconds. What do I do with the ball? And I think that was so the Kenyans gained a lot of territory against us, especially in the first half. And then also we failed to execute our game model. I think if we had probably would have matched the Kenyans. We had an opportunity to get into the game, but again, simple mistakes. Knock-ons, losing possession in transition, contact. Small mistakes, of course, that come along with a poor posture of ball presentation, things like that, and then late to rack the ball, and then you lose possession. I think the whole game we made about 15 knock-ons.
Yeah,
and that is if you're losing possession of 15 knock-ons, any good team would use at least 2 minutes to retain that ball and keep it. So that is 2 times 15 knock-ons. That is 30.
yes.
So if any team working off the ball for 30 minutes, I think for me you get punished.
Yeah,
And
sure.
the team that is really good, you get punished.
Yeah,
Turnovers in transition, ball in contact, I think we lost about 11 balls. You multiply that by 2 minutes, playing the ball in 2 minutes, I think that is 22.
yeah,
22 plus the 30, 52. So if a team has the ball for 52 minutes, you're playing a game of 80 minutes. I think you can never win that game. Trust me, a team that is good and is on a good matchup on a good day, you can never beat that team.
yeah,
So if you add up the minutes being played, probably, let's say we played for 28 minutes with the ball, and then they played for 52 minutes with the ball. That is possession. And I think for me, they did well. They used their strength. We never used our strength.
Yeah.
I think for me, up to today, I can't believe we were beaten at the lineouts. Of course, we beat them at the scrums, but after winning a scrum, what do you use the ball with? The aftermath is very key. So I think that is where we fell short in terms of decision making. And it's not that the girls didn't know what to do, but I think they played under pressure. They put a lot of pressure onto themselves, and then the creativity was lost with the ball.
But guys, you see, much as there was so much we did not do right, I think there are some players that stood out. Ruben, which babe stood out, man?
Interesting, I should call them bibs, but let me see. First of all, yesterday's game. Yeah, I felt like we were helpless, in my opinion. We did not get a chance to express ourselves the way I think those girls can. But still, I think one of the people that stood out for me was Peace Lekuru. She carried hard, the captain. For the 2 games we have played so far, she has been one of the standouts. Very, very testament, old school number 12. She really carried hard. Faith Namuga, I feel like she also put in her good carries, and she had one big tackle. Yeah. So we in a game where we're losing a lot of battles at the physical contest, she really at least tried to put up her hand and show that what Uganda, we have something that we can also offer. So I think those 2 in particular, they really caught my eye. Yes, Charlotte was exceptional in the first game. I felt like in the second game she kind of lost the plot, but I give that.
But you see, man,
to Kenya.
Charlotte, I watched the game, yes, but man, me, I was focused more on the. Like, man, I was not even focused on the game.
Why weren't you focused on the game?
I could just look because we're losing. It was more of catching up with people, saying hello to this one, saying hello to this one. However, for the moment,
about the Wankulu experience,
man, it's an okay place. I mean, but yeah, let me say what I wanted to say. You're confusing me. I wanted to say that Charlotte was getting difficult ball because the Kenyans were pressing so hard and so fast.
They did their homework.
So like the coach is saying, the ball presentation was not so fine and the passes were quite so short. Our standing posture could not enable Charlotte to play our game.
Flat in attack as well.
Lucy, which channel stood out? Do you agree with Ruben? Do you agree with Ruben that it was Peace Lekuru and Namuga?
For me, it was Peace Lekuru.
Yeah.
In both games.
Yeah.
UG versus Zambia and then against Kenya.
Mm.
And then in Zambia game, it was Charlotte. She did wonders.
Yeah. Lucy, if you're playing women's rugby, which position would you want to play? 9 or 10?
9.
And now let me ask my question finally. Yeah?
You have really bought into his trap.
Osaga is 9-matized. Lucy, if Wakabi switched teams and say he went to a club like Pirates, yeah, because it can happen, man. Do you know that?
I'm talking of
They bring a
It can
better
happen.
offer.
So
They bring a better offer.
does that mean you switch and start
no,
supporting Pirates?
no.
You continue supporting heathens.
I
Are you sure?
continue. Yes,
Are you sure?
very, very sure.
Even in a Pirates
I hope,
versus
man,
heathens
I
game.
don't know, man. What have I
Very,
brought? I
very
brought
sure.
problems. Anyway, man, Coach Leo, what's the next plan for the ladies? What's the next plan? What's their calendar looking like? 2023. What next for these girls?
Well, I think we first and foremost we fell short on the 4-year cycle of the World Cup. But hope we shouldn't lose hope as Uganda. Next year we will be playing again in October. It will be a round robin tournament where the winner will have a direct entry to the W15's Tier 3.
Tell us about the W15 style.
So it's a new format of women's rugby in the world. So it's a world rugby it's starting next year. So you have the Six Nations, all those teams having, I think, extra 4 or 2. No, 2. There will be 8 teams in the Tier 1. That is a WXV 1. That one has no relegation after the first cycle.
just stay that
of
side.
Yes. So the teams Kenya, South Africa, Madagascar that have already qualified to the last window of the World Cup. I think whoever wins that will go direct to the WX2. So whoever was second in their pools, like Uganda, Zimbabwe, Tunisia, are waiting on to Pool D to compete. Hopefully by end of next week, we'll know who is second, who is third, and who was topped the pool. That whoever wins that will go direct to the WXV third tier.
Okay.
It has also got relegation. So the relegation, whoever is relegated and last, will be playing a playoff against the top ranked amongst those that are down there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting window of some good rugby for the women.
Yeah.
It's been evident that women hardly play lots of test games.
Yeah.
And to cut that down, I think there's an opportunity, especially with the WXV, where you look at 2 teams from Europe, you look at 1 team from Oceania, 1 team from South America, 1 team from Africa, then 1 team from Africa.
Okay.
So I think for me, it's going to be a very good exposure for us as Team Uganda if we go out there and top our pool. And it's I think we'll be the favorites in that pool.
Yeah, sure.
When you look at Zimbabwe, when you look at Tunisia, it may be Ghana or Cote d'Ivoire. The West Africans have got size,
Guys, those Ghanaian babes are not coming to play.
yeah. So we, I think, we'll be favorites in that pool B, and trust me, I need to say this: we will top that, and then we want to get that direct ticket to the WX3. It has got some good funding also, directly from World Rugby, specifically for women's rugby. So I think we can't fail to take on such an opportunity for us as Team Uganda.
Wow.
No, it's
Ruben,
interesting.
what I gather is too much exposure, playing time that maybe would have influenced our loss
It definitely
yesterday,
did.
yeah.
Definitely did.
was in such pressure situations. But now with the
XV.
WXV, bro,
Yeah.
3. Oh, we are having too much playing time, exposure, and money coming in. Various partnerships with the coachings and learnings. Ruben, do you have any more jazz for these guys?
Before I even ask my last question, I just like to say that it's important for us to also have such periods where, man, we're only focusing on women's rugby. usually we see women play as a curtain raiser for men,
Yeah.
and it's all about the men. Even the media narrative has been all about the men. But it's been great to see what Nile Special has done, what the fans have done, being able to mobilize, have buses in the middle of the week waiting for people at respective grounds to go
Yeah.
there. Then for some of us who are able to also make the way. So the whole spotlight has been on women, and I think that is great. It's been a great thing, and we need to have that a lot more. We need women to come out a lot more and support women. We need men to come out a lot more, and we need to get to know many of these. I was having a conversation with some fans, and many of the players, they don't know who they are. You can't point out and say this is this person, this is that person. So we need the women to also have those characters, those personalities, but by themselves also starting as brands. Some of these players, they need to really put themselves out there. But as we come to the close of this, just to ask, I'll start with you, Lucille, please. Looking at women's rugby in Uganda, what do you think needs to be done, or should be done, or can be done for it to grow?
Well, they need more of the media presence because if you notice, during the sevens, the ladies were equally playing, but they never got that media presence. Like the men's were covering them up. So I think if we could front their games as well, just like we do for the men's, it would be a plus for women's rugby. Just like this entire period, like people have gotten to know, like, oh, okay, we have a national team of rugby of the ladies, yes.
Yeah.
So I think that would be great, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Lucy.
Before that, coach.
Okay.
On that same question, what are your thoughts?
Well, I've got a background of academia in the sports field.
Okay.
And I keep on asking my colleagues, a few people within the rugby circles, is it the population versus performance? When you look at Madagascar, it's got about 30 plus women's rugby clubs.
Okay.
But they're not yet there. South Africa has about 8. South Africa is beating them badly. Same thing with Kenya has about 10, 10 female rugby clubs. But they're still beaten by South Africa still. And then when you look at the population of the UK teams, the whole country has got a very low population. But the quality of rugby is out there. For me, I think the few clubs we have, women's rugby clubs we have, if we can have quality competition, whether there are 4 clubs, let the quality be amplified. Of course, with lots of things. One is media, visibility of women's rugby, giving it more attention.
Yeah.
Then also involvement of sports science into women's programs at club level. And then also the funding. Let the few clubs get funding, corporates coming on board, and at least if you have a girl waking up to come and train and go back happy, I think for me it would be a plus. The science is, when you look at the depth of our women's rugby, we do this, what we call early specialization. And then for me, this is I would call it gender balanced violence, gender-based violence.
Yeah.
We do not have numbers. We are rushing young girls into elite performance. You're doing something totally bad to the girls. Either will end their careers as early as possible, because there is no the right pathway of an athlete long-term development. So for me, I would say let's follow the right science training for the ladies, and then also have more funding to the ladies. Trust me, we'll have quality athletes.
Guys, give these babes money.
Definitely.
Now special. Sign that check. Give this team money.
Fans always complain about, where
Wait,
the money
let
coming
me ask
from.
now special, guys.
Let them-
Sign that money. Sign those
Before they are
millions.
special,
Let
even
them
the
sign the
fans,
millions.
if you can go and watch a game, if you can go and watch even a club game,
Squeeze
pay
money
that
to
5K,
hands.
give that team some contribution.
Yeah.
Teams are always here asking for contribution. Let us not only think about the big corporate sponsors that bring millions and millions.
Guys,
Give
you've had
you that 10K.
That's right.
Hey, Dungu, at 10K.
I squeeze into her hands money.
You won't die without 2 beers.
Come on, guys, man, it's been awesome having jazz with you guys. Lucy, any parting shots?
Yeah, this is the point where we saw where the amwe.
Kalango,
Whatever you want to do.
Actually, in the bid to support women's rugby, I think on Saturday there is a car wash at Kings Park for one of the ladies, the Black Pouds. I don't know, is it?
Yeah, she's called
Immaculate Mofoa, yeah?
She has an ACL issue that she needs 25 million for her surgery.
Yeah.
But as well, also Haruna Mohammed, Pirates player, also has an ACL issue, and I think he had an operation before, but it wasn't successful. He needs a second one, and it's also, I think he needs 25.
So guys, 5th November 5,
this Saturday
at Kings Park Arena, there's going to be a car wash, 30K per car, auction, soccer, tag of war, sack race, touch rugby, walking touch rugby, blindfold racing, egg racing. There'll be fans teams, Team Haruna, Team Immaculate, Wazei, Pirates, and Pals. Contributions from well-wishers are welcome before and during the event. So these are the contacts. Yeah?
For those that can't be there on the day, they can use more money.
0778 114 990 or 0703 448 332. Ivan Chadri is a contact person. Guys, November 5, this Saturday, let's be there.
We expect you to be the champion of the sack race.
Guys, this guy is banging mad. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. I'm happy I'm back.
Yeah,
guys, give us feedback. Tell us.
Wait, before you finish, you did give him his chance of Wisa.
Apologies.
Coach, do you have anything you'd like to maybe share as we close?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, want to thank Now Special and the fans' experience. I think they've been a huge impact to the girls. Regardless, in the camps, of course, during the day you've got your phone, and then after that, you release your phone. Off the phone, rest your mind and recovery. I think the girls really appreciate your support, and I think going forward, it's going to be, as you can see, the women's national team has really changed. Their playing styles, it's not like way back. It's that the level of competition, they've taken it on a high note. And big thanks to the fans. Don't get disappointed. We still have more action next year. More opportunities to come next year for us. As you can see, there's a better ranking for the women's team that has moved a few steps to better ranking. And then also, lastly, I want to thank the union for being there for the women. I know it's not yet there as expected from the outside community of rugby, but we ask for more support. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, and guys have been asking when Uganda Cup is starting. Most people do not know. November 26.
Yeah.
November 26.
But the fixtures are not yet out.
Yeah, the fixtures will come out.
Draw tomorrow. Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
But
Friday.
November 26, guys, Uganda Cup, we are rolling.
All right.
Ruben, say bye to the people. Ask them for feedback.
As usual, we always ask that engage with us on our social media platforms. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Always give us feedback. Your feedback. Let us know who you want us to have on the podcast. And remember, you can listen in on the audio platforms: Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. For those that want to watch, YouTube. And there are always very many clips. We are always about candid rugby conversations. Thank you for always being a part of the Fat Cats Rugby podcast. See you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye-bye. More funny yourself board up, that meeting. Yes, I have a CRT meeting. I need. Okay.
Guys, thank you for your time. We apologize. Lucy Suubi during the day got a brain lock.
You guys,
Lucy was waiting, but you would have heard that.
no, because there's a time. There is a time when we were just telling you, and then afterwards.
That is
I'm very serious, boss.
First order.
Coach Leo, I'm ordering.
Yes, Wanje? Wanje?
Thanks for listening in. Share with us your thoughts from today's episode, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.